Hello, a warm greeting to everybody who is watching this video. Well, in this episode, I am going to present a lesson that is concerned with the teaching aspect as one of the teaching aspect of knowledge. I'm referring to the deductive approach and inductive approach. So the important things about the preceding approach, when you design your lesson planning, you need to what? To plan for the procedures. So the procedures need to be what? Inductively or deductively constructed. What do you mean by deductive and inductive? I will explain this later. But priorly, you need to prepare your three steps or three major elements before building or writing the lesson plan. So that is to say, I am talking about the learner's level. Does your lesson plan fit the learner's level? Yes or no? Does it focus on writing or speaking skills, right? Does it sequentially ordered? These are the elements that you have or you must consider before designing or planning your lesson, right? Steps or procedures. So let me explain to you. Indubitably, in teaching, we need aspects. There are various aspects of teaching. So here, I will focus on the approach. So, the approach I am referring to are the deductive approach and the inductive approach. Before you focus on this, you need to address the target or to consider the level of your learners. Inductive approach means that when you design your plan, you are not going to follow the procedures of illustration, interaction, and the induction. Illustration is some kind of steps that you are going to integrate on your lesson plan. Illustration, simply put, is what? Means that you are going to provide the rules with an in-depth explanations and some kind of examples so that you will enable your learners to understand and figure out the lesson, what the lesson is about. Then you move to interaction. The interaction means a practice. Learners will practice together and communicate by giving them tasks to do, to perform, just to see if they grasp the knowledge or not. After that, in the induction it is similar. Induction is similar to post reading or writing, whatever. When students complete the task, they have to consolidate or to practice further so that they will understand or to grasp the target knowledge. This is the meaning of III, illustration, interaction, induction. But in inductive approach, indubitably, it is not going to be used with beginner learners, because inductive approach means you are going to start your lesson, the first stage, by giving them examples. When you give them examples, their job or their requirement is to extract or to get out the suitable rule of those examples. And this is not fit to the beginner learners. They cannot, it's impossible for beginner learners to understand the rules and get it out, or to figure it out from the presented examples. So what you have to, the levels that fit to inductive approach is the intermediate levels learners. Intermediate learners, they can, understand from the examples the intended rule. This is my point of view. Well, um, in deductive approach is simply a regular order. By following the first thing, you provide them with lesson explanations of the lesson to illustrate. This is why I mentioned earlier. When you finish with the examples and the rule, you provide them with the practice, the task, so that they can prepare themselves. After that, in the post stage, they will practice by themselves. This is the deductive approach. This is only fit to beginner learners. This is for intermediate learners. So let us talk about the other aspect of teaching. So I finished with the deductive and inductive approach. Simply put, very easy and well structured. And the other aspect of teaching that I'm referring to has to deal with explaining meaning, whether in inductive or deductive. So explaining, the first thing, explaining concepts, explaining concepts. What do you mean by concept? Concept is the definition of kind of words that has specific definition. For example, a book, for example, a positive, any kind of concepts, whether scientific or literacy or whatever. So concept is something that you are going to define for your learners. What you have to do is, by explaining meaning, means to act it out. You are a teacher, of course, but you can play different roles. You can be an actor, you can be something else, you can be a monitor. Here you will act it out. If we say the word jump, you are going to jump. So you are explaining the meaning. If you want to explain something else, like a book, this is how we call a book. You will show it to them. If you want to explain the physical appearance or the facial expression, or to explain personal features like curious, courageous, generous, you will make it. How you are going to make it? By facial expression or by using role play, simply, without depending on translation. This is the meaning of explaining concepts, by using some activity. This element leads us to what? To one of the techniques that is called, or method, suggestibility lesson. Suggestibility lesson. Here, suggestibility lesson, to simplify, is when a teacher asks or invites learners to listen to the audio or to the story, and he or she will act it out. So learners, they will stand up, they will read and perform what they are reading. If they are saying, for example, John has passed the ball, so they will do like pass the ball, right? So what you have to, they will understand. If they imitate what the teacher is doing by movement or something, that it has to do with the body language. Anyway, if the teacher do like this, pass the ball, means that the action refers to the verb or the action verbs of passing the ball. I passed the ball. So if you do like this, means they understand this is a ball, right? This is the action and the reaction, right? Indirect, direct object, etc. So the benefits of explaining lesson by using objects or physical reactions or activity is that learners, they will make a connect or contacts or match between the physical action and vocabulary. They will learn much vocabulary by action, right? Now another thing, explaining. So B, explaining, wait a minute, on this, explaining language structure. Language structure has to do with the grammar knowledge or linguistic knowledge that's linked to the language itself, to the English language itself. So we are referring, for example, if we use the can, it means the modal can, and we use the subject after can in affirmative sentence, he can drive a car. We cannot say drives a car. So here you are explaining the rule that if we have a modal between the verb he, she, it, between the subject he, she, it, and the verb comes after the modal, whether would, will, whatever, I mean, we cannot add s to the verb that refers to the subject he, she, it, third personal pronoun, he, she, it, singular, right? We add s. Explaining language structure. This is the meaning. So the elements, the third element is about, the fourth, we have inductive, deductive, explaining concept and explaining language structure. Another thing that I want to mention, for example, in one of the teaching aspects, especially in the pronunciation features, what you have to do in the practicing the language or repeating the pronunciations or transcriptions, what you have to do, you have to apply the choral repetition. So I will omit this. Choral repetition. The meaning of choral repetition is that you are going to ask your student to repeat after you, to repeat the word, pronounce it correctly, and they will comprehend or understand how to pronounce it in a concept or in a concrete way, in a correct way. So this is why we encourage choral repetition. Free practice. Free practice means is another element that comes after choral repetition. So D. Free practice. Learners, they need continuous guidance, especially when you give them tasks. They need the guidance. Do not let them like this. You need to support them, promote them forward, just to understand just to make sure they understand the task instruction or the task procedures. So what you have to do is to repeat the task, repeat the explanations, what they're supposed to do, etc. And learners will understand and do the task smoothly. This is the goal or the meaning of free practice. So I think that was all about the aspect of teaching. Just for your record, sorry. Teaching aspect is broad. So this is just a few elements of teaching aspects. I focused on them because they refer to the lesson plannings that are structured, lessons planning that are structured for every lesson you want to present. Thank you very much for your kind consideration. That was all, and see you for the upcoming videos.